Hello all, this is Halloween, and if you love cemeteries and haunted places as much as I do, you may want to subscribe because I'm going to be taking you somewhere new every week. It's bright and early on a Tuesday morning, and we're headed out to Webster, Florida to visit the Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery. But first, we're going to get some breakfast. Enjoy! We're here at the Florida Cracker Feedlot in Webster, Florida, a very rural area and very adorable. Gonna go in and get some breakfast. It's like a miniature Cracker Barrel. We're here at Catherine Matchett Cemetery. It's located in Webster, Florida. I just saw this little cemetery en route to the Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery, and I thought, that's a smaller cemetery, so let's check this one out too. This one is also very small. So let's go in and see what we can see. Right over here, across from what appears to be the main cemetery, or at least the main property or original property, there's another piece of land dedicated to the cemetery, it looks like. So there's just a few over here. There's a little mausoleum right out there in the sun. I would have picked a better spot for that, but right in the middle of the sun there. Oh look, who's here? I thought I saw a ghost. It's my husband. Here's one Mr. Fudge. Jimmy Fudge. Says loving husband and father and papa. Surely missed. Oh, they got married on Halloween. Him and his wife, who's still with us. His wife is Sally R. Fudge. Married October 31st, 1964. Over here in the corner, all the way to the forest right-hand corner of the cemetery is a rankhorn. Miss Annette Rankhorn and a Joseph T. Now Annette's still with us, born January 13th, 1969. And Joseph T. passed away just in 2023. Says you are my heart and soul forever and eternity. That's the little horse and the skunk ape there. I'm gonna go check out and see who's in this mausoleum here. Just kind of an odd place. It's kind of just randomly put. in the direct middle. Watch out for fire ants. There's a big old fire ant bed. It's those big fat fire ants too. So if you come out here, just make sure you're paying attention to where you're walking, because there are a lot of them. There's another one here. Oh, here's another footstone. Sally Ann Hayden, born May 1st, 1951, and passed November 28th, 2005. That's pretty young. And here's another, just a metal plaque. 1874 to 2019. Does that say 1874? That can't be right. Oh, it's 1974. I was like, what? This guy's like older than Methuselah. No, 1974 to 2019. Just kidding. So Michael It says Hebron. And that's Hayden, but it's definitely B-R-O-N. And then over here we have the Williams Mausoleum. Arlie Roy, who passed in 2000, and Roy Levon, who passed in 1984. Grasping your hand in memory and prayer of the good years we had together. And over here you can see where the coffins were inserted. Right here. It says, mankind believeth in God, be still. And over here, a friend in need is a true friend indeed. As you can see, it's a very rural setting out here. We just had like the best breakfast ever. That Florida cracker feedlot was so amazing. The catfish was delicious, perfectly fried, flaky, with big fluffy biscuits, and the grits were awesome, the eggs were awesome, everything was so good. So I highly recommend that. And being that it's right in the center of a flea market, we're definitely gonna hit that flea market one time. The servers were saying that the flea market is best in the winter months. So we're going to have to check that out because we love flea markets. So there's a little plot over here in the corner, right in the sun again. Let's see who we got. Newsom. Oh, a big bug just hit me in the face. Newsom family plot. And teal. Love ya, Newsom, who's still with us. And Brian Earl. So she was a Newsom before she married Mr. Teal. And they're buried here with her family. That's what I'm getting. Those are really pretty headstones. Oh, this one's brand new. They're still with us. So they just got it all set up and ready to go. And then over here, Johnny Lee passed in 2019, and Joan is still with us. So this looks like a fairly new burial grounds, but I don't know, I might have spoke too soon, because I do see some that look older over here, and then there's some way by the fence that look pretty old too, at least the one with the cross on top. We've got Sumner here, Green, I see another Green, a Peterson. See these here in the middle? Those are old. How old? I don't know. Let's see if we can find a date on them. They almost look like they may have been unmarked at one time. They just came in here and maybe with ground penetrating radar discovered that there were burials here and marked them. Okay. These say infant. This is one Mary Webb. This just says Giddens, I believe. These are totally, you can't read the script on them anymore. So I'm just kind of wondering. It looks like they may have marked all of these once they found out that there were burials here. I see older ones over here too. There's some pretty cool stuff here. Look at this. A lot of infants buried here. This infant passed and was born April 6th and died the same day, April 6th, in 1897. I'm seeing that name a lot. It's a first name for a lady, Viola, in this cemetery. I've seen it a couple times at least. Here's a Williams family plot. Now this is going back. So we just saw 1897, 1901, 1902. Now I'm wondering if these are children because the ledgers are so small. This one was passed in 1900, so 1900, 1901, 1902. This one does say infant, 1894. This is an interesting cemetery. We just kind of ran into it on accident. There are a lot of Williams buried here, and they have these really cool ledgers with headstones that are like, it's just, their names are just etched in there. And the Williams family is big in this particular cemetery. It's mostly Williamses, from what I can see, dating back to the late 1800s. So that's really awesome. These are Williams. Charlie Williams. And Miss Bertha Williams. Very cool. But a lot of these here I think are infants and children, which is, I was trying to find out something on my phone about the Williams family of Webster that's buried here, and I may have to look into that later, but it's just kind of cool. They definitely have a lot of really neat memorials and a lot of history evidently here in Webster. Well, that does it for this Matchett Cemetery. I thought it was pretty freaking awesome to just run in and just running into it on accident too. Like, that was awesome. But we gotta head over to the Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery because we're about to run out of time. I got a hair appointment today, so some of this is going away. Stay tuned. Let's get on to the next one. We've arrived at Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery. This is a historic cemetery. I'm already loving the looks of it. This is my type of stuff right here. So let's go in and see what we can see. It says here that the cemetery was established in 1849, and right here has a list of everyone laid to rest here, which is awesome. It says honoring all who are known to be buried here. And this property has been placed on the National Register of Historic Places by the United States Department of the Interior. Great. This is really cool. And right here, I think this is an old map of like the original area, which was the Pemberton Ferry community, and today is now known as Sumter County. Going in, it's right off the busy street, so I apologize for any of the loud noises. Look how cool this is. Only 44 buried here. There are some unknowns. Several, it looks like. But let's read about the Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery. Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery. The earliest local history of Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery describes the wetland just south of the cemetery as a lush feeding ground for the wild cows and ponies left by the Spanish. As sunup and sunset, it was said to be covered with pink flamingos, white egrets, and thousands of other beautiful birds. Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery sat at the corner of Stagecoach Road and Wire Road. Britton Branch Jr. deeded the property for the cemetery, and in 1849, Branch's son-in-law, William D. Bolden Sr., was the first to be buried here. For the next 75 years, the town of Pemberton, located just 1 mile southwest, used Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery as a segregated burial ground for whites. And James Weeks, one Hernando County Commissioner, Frank L. Smith, and a member of the Board of Public Instruction for Hernando County, Stephen Weeks. James Hunter Pemberton, the last person laid to rest here, was entered in 1924. By the Great Depression, Pemberton was in ruins, and the federal government bought the property. In 1958, the federal government leased the property to the state of Florida, and the town site became part of the Withlacoochee State Forest. It says it's continued on the other side. James T. Pemberton founded the town of Pemberton in 1876. The town developed around a ferry that helped early settlers and stagecoaches cross the Withlacoochee River from Sumter to Hernando County. The town was an important early transportation hub for Sumter County as a critical cog in Henry B. Plant's transportation empire. It served as a junction of two busy railroads and as a landing for steamboats traveling the Withlacoochee River. In his 56 years, Pemberton fought the proprietor of Pemberton Hotel, and as an inspector of Marks and Brandt's. In his political career, he served as one of 5 delegates from Sumter County for Florida's Democratic Party convention during the presidential election of 1896. Pemberton was the first county resident to be recommended by Sumter County Board of Commissions in 1902 for the position of Fish and Game Warden. But he died before the state of Florida could finalize his appointment. Pemberton was laid to rest in Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery on May 15th of 1905. I'm not really sure if I read that in the right order. There's not a page 1 or 2 or anything like that, but it seems like it works either way. Let's take a quick look at this cemetery before the sky opens up. There's only 44 laid to rest here, as I was saying. James Weeks was mentioned in the historic marker, and looks like he was a veteran. 1817 to 1866. Let's go over here. Peter Weeks, right here. Peter P. Weeks, 1848 to 1920. It says, in loving remembrance, Frank L. Smith, born August 14th and passed January 1st in 1909. Here we have a Stephen Weeks, private. A Charles L. Branch, Florida, private, right, in the military. Florida MTV VOLS. I don't know what that stands for. I can't think of it right now. And Indian Wars. Here's a very old headstone that has disintegrated so badly that they went ahead and just marked it. This is Emmy P. Benton. There are a lot of unknowns in here. People that were buried prior to it really being a dedicated area of land for a cemetery, more than likely. Unknown, and the unknowns are numbered. I've never seen that before. I think that is so cool that they've taken the time to locate these bodies and give them some kind of marker. There's a flag over the fence line, and I'm wondering if someone is actually buried there. There's a little yellow flag too right there that you can see next to the American flag. There may be a veteran buried right there, an unknown, just outside of the confines of this marked off property with the chain link fence. But there's a lot of unknowns here, a lot, and they must all be veterans because they all have flags next to them. Neat cemetery, really neat. I do recommend coming here because it's just a really cool part of history. that's it for the cemetery. There's really not a lot here. There's not a lot, but there's so much at the same time. Really very cool. We're headed out of the cemetery now. It's getting ready to pour down rain, if you can see. Makes for really pretty photographs though. But anyway, very beautiful cemetery, very historic. If you want to come by and check it out, I just think it's so cool. It's really unlike any I've ever seen before. So there's always something new and different about every cemetery, which is why one of the reasons why I love them so much. And they're so peaceful. They really are. But anyway, that does it for this one. I'll see you at the next one. How you like it? After the cemetery today, I basically went directly to my hair appointment and got my hair did. I really loved the cemeteries today. They're really my kind of cemeteries, those sort of small, mysterious cemeteries that you really can't find a lot of information on. It just makes me want to learn more about those families. The Wild Cow Prairie, that was freaking awesome. I've never seen so many. Well, I can't say that because I think when we went to the Shiloh Cemetery out near Mayo, I think that cemetery, it was a African-American cemetery, and I think that one had a lot of unknown graves in it, and it just said unknown, unknown, unknown. That's the only one I can think about that had so many unknown but marked graves in it. It's marked unknown, but these were a little bit different because they were numbered. They were done in a little bit of a different way, sort of like looked like a street sign the way they did it, but brown, like a brown street sign with the number and then unknown on there. Clearly they had somebody come in, an archaeologist or somebody that came in and located the bodies and were able to mark those bodies. It speaks to the amount of care that the community has in preserving their history, and I think that's really awesome, and I really wish that everybody could do that rather than just destroying everything or building upon it or, just getting rid of everything. This is a part of our history. These people went before us. They're important people. These are people that originally settled in the Pemberton Ferry area, and that's a big part of American history, primarily having to do with transportation. It's just unfortunate that so many people don't recognize or respect that. Whoever's taking care of the community now, they're in Sumter County. I think I said that right. Sumter County. Whoever's there now taking care of it obviously cares about preserving the history of that area. And for that, I am very grateful. I think everybody should be. Anybody that lives in that area, that's something really special. That whoever that person or organization is has a lot of integrity to maintain that cemetery the way they have. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I highly recommend visiting both of these cemeteries. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share the video, and I'll see you next time.